Have you ever wished you could go back and fix the parts of your life that broke you? The mistakes, the heartbreaks, the moments that changed you forever. But what if those broken pieces were never meant to disappear? What if they were always meant to become something beautiful? Welcome to Book Bite. Today, we're exploring the timeless wisdom of Kintsugi Wellness, a book that reminds us that our greatest strength isn't found in perfection, it's found in the courage to heal. Part 1. The broken pieces we hide. Some of the deepest wounds are the ones no one ever sees. They don't leave scars on your skin. They don't require bandages. From the outside, everything looks normal. You wake up. You go to work. You reply to messages. You smile when someone smiles at you. Life continues just as it always has. But somewhere inside, something has changed. Maybe it happened after a dream fell apart. Maybe after someone you trusted walked away. Maybe after failing at something you believed would change your life forever. Or maybe nothing dramatic happened at all. Perhaps it was years of carrying responsibilities, meeting expectations, pretending you were okay, until one day you couldn't remember what feeling okay actually meant. The strange thing about emotional pain is that it rarely arrives all at once. It comes quietly. One disappointment, one rejection, one goodbye, one sleepless night, one sentence that hurt more than anyone realized. Little by little, something inside us begins to crack. Yet instead of acknowledging those cracks, we hide them, because somewhere along the way, we started believing that broken people are weak. We admire confidence. We celebrate success. We applaud people who always seem to have everything under control. But almost no one talks about the nights they cried, the moments they doubted themselves, or the times they wondered if they were enough. So we convince ourselves that we're the only ones struggling. Every day, we compare our ordinary lives to everyone else's highlight reel. Their promotions, their vacations, their perfect photos, their happiest moments, while comparing them to our anxiety, our self-doubt, our unfinished dreams. It's an impossible comparison, and yet we make it every single day. Imagine holding a beautiful ceramic bowl in your hands. It's smooth, elegant, carefully crafted. Then, in a single moment, it slips from your fingers. It falls and shatters across the floor. You stand there, looking at the broken pieces. Most people would have the same thought. It's ruined, because that's what we've always been taught. Broken things lose their value. A broken phone is replaced. A broken chair is thrown away. A broken promise is forgotten. Slowly, without realizing it, we begin believing the same thing about ourselves. I failed. I'm not who I used to be. I'll never be enough. After hearing those thoughts often enough, we stop seeing ourselves as people who experienced pain. Instead, we begin to see ourselves as the pain itself. But what if we've misunderstood what it means to be broken? What if a crack isn't the end of something valuable? What if it's the beginning of a completely different story? Nature has been showing us this lesson all along. An old tree isn't beautiful because every branch is perfect. A mountain isn't breathtaking because it's smooth. A river isn't admired because it never changed its course. The things we find most beautiful have all been shaped by time, by storms, by change, by seasons that left their mark. And somehow, those marks don't make them less beautiful. They make them unforgettable. Perhaps people aren't so different. Maybe the hardest year of your life didn't only leave you with pain. Maybe it also gave you wisdom. Maybe the heartbreak that almost broke you taught you how deeply you're capable of loving. Maybe the failure you still regret quietly became the reason you're stronger today. We rarely notice these changes while they're happening. We only see the cracks. We never notice the strength they're creating. Centuries ago, in Japan, a remarkable idea was born. An idea so simple, yet so powerful that it has inspired people for generations. It began with a broken bowl, but it was never really about pottery. It was about people, about every heart that has been disappointed, every dream that has fallen apart, every person who has looked in the mirror and wondered if they would ever feel whole again. Because perhaps the most valuable things in this world are not the ones that were never broken. They are the ones that found the courage to become even more beautiful after they broke. And once you understand this ancient philosophy, you may never look at your own story in the same way again.
Part 2. The Japanese art that changes everything. More than 500 years ago, a simple accident gave birth to one of the most beautiful philosophies the world has ever known. It began with a question. What do you do when something precious breaks? Today, the answer seems obvious. We replace it. We throw it away. We buy something newer, something better. Because we've been taught that once something is broken, its value disappears. We see it with our phones, our furniture, our clothes. And eventually, without realizing it, we begin treating ourselves the same way. One mistake, one failure, one heartbreak. And suddenly, we wonder if we've lost our value too. But centuries ago, in Japan, someone chose to see brokenness differently. According to an old story, a powerful Japanese shogun owned a beautiful tea bowl that he treasured. One day, while using it, the bowl slipped from his hands. It shattered into pieces. Determined to save it, he sent it away to be repaired. When it finally returned, the bowl was held together with large metal staples. It worked, but something felt wrong. The repair looked like an apology, as though the bowl should be ashamed of having been broken. It had been fixed, but it had lost its beauty. Instead of accepting that answer, skilled Japanese craftsmen searched for another way. They believed that repairing something should not erase its history, it should honor it. So they carefully gathered every broken piece. None of them were thrown away. They joined the fragments together using natural lacquer mixed with fine gold powder. Instead of hiding the cracks, they allowed them to shine. The places where the bowl had once broken became the most beautiful part of it. This remarkable art became known as Kintsugi. Its name simply means golden joinery. At first glance, it looks like a method for repairing pottery. But if you spend a little time with it, you begin to realize that it was never really about bowls. It was about people. Because every human life eventually cracks. Some hearts break because of love, some because of failure, some because of loss, others because life simply didn't unfold the way they hoped it would. Yet whenever we break, our first instinct is almost always the same. Hide it. Hide the sadness, hide the fear, hide the disappointment. Pretend everything is fine. We spend so much energy trying to look unbroken that we forget healing begins with honesty. Kintsugi quietly offers another way. It tells us that our cracks are not something to erase, they are something to understand. Because without those cracks, there would be no story. Imagine reading a novel where nothing ever went wrong. No challenges, no setbacks, no difficult choices. Would you remember it? Probably not. The stories that stay with us are the ones where people fall, struggle, and somehow find the strength to rise again. Perhaps our own lives work the same way. Your life is not defined by the moments when everything went according to plan. It's shaped by the moments when nothing did. Every challenge you survived, every fear you faced, every time you chose to keep moving when giving up felt easier, those moments quietly became part of who you are. That is why no two Kintsugi bowls ever look the same. The golden lines follow different paths. Each one tells a different story. People are no different. No one has lived your life. No one carries your memories, your victories, your disappointments, your healing. Your story is unlike anyone else's. And maybe that is where your true value has always been, not in being flawless, but in being real. There is another lesson hidden inside this ancient art. The craftsman never rushes the repair. Each piece is placed carefully. The lacquer is allowed to dry. The gold settles slowly. Because beauty cannot be forced, and neither can healing. Perhaps that is something many of us need to hear. We often ask ourselves, why am I still hurting? Why haven't I moved on? Why don't I feel like myself again? Maybe because healing was never meant to happen overnight. Just like the gold inside a Kintsugi bowl, it appears little by little, quietly, patiently, until one day you look back and realize something extraordinary. The very experience you thought would destroy you became part of what made you stronger. But this raises another question. If our scars can become something beautiful, why do we spend so much of our lives trying to hide them? The answer may have less to do with our scars and more to do with the stories we've been telling ourselves about them.
Part 3. Your scars are not your weakness. If there's one thing most of us have become experts at, it's hiding. We hide our fears, our regrets, our disappointments, the mistakes we wish we could erase, and the parts of ourselves we hope no one will ever notice. We tell ourselves that if people see our flaws, they'll think less of us. So we build walls. We smile when we're hurting. We say, "I'm fine," even when we're anything but. And little by little, we become strangers to our own emotions. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to be kind to someone else after they've made a mistake? When a friend fails, you remind them that one failure doesn't define their life. When someone you love is going through heartbreak, You tell them they'll heal with time. When a family member feels lost, you encourage them to keep going. But when it's your own mistake, your own heartbreak, your own failure, the voice inside your head sounds completely different. You become your own harshest critic. You replay every decision, every conversation, every missed opportunity. You wonder what you could have done differently, and somehow you convince yourself that everyone else deserves compassion except you. Why is that? Perhaps because we've confused being imperfect with being unworthy. We believe that strong people never struggle, that successful people never doubt themselves, that confident people never feel afraid. But that's simply not true. Look closely at the people you admire most. A teacher who changed your life, a parent who always stood beside you, a friend who never gave up. Someone's story inspires you. What makes them remarkable? Is it that they never failed? Or is it that they found the courage to keep moving after they did? Real strength has never been about avoiding pain. It's about refusing to let pain become the end of your story. Think about an old tree standing alone in a forest. It has survived storms, strong winds, heavy rain, years of changing seasons. Its trunk carries deep marks. Some branches have broken, others have grown in unexpected directions. Yet, when people look at that tree, they don't see something damaged, they see something strong. They admire it because it endured, because every mark on its bark tells the story of another season it survived. Nature never apologizes for the marks left by time. Only human beings do. Perhaps we've been looking at our own scars the wrong way. A scar is proof that something hurt you, but it's also proof that your body chose to heal. The wound didn't stay open forever. It became part of your story. Our emotional scars deserve the same understanding. The heartbreak that taught you to value genuine love, the failure that forced you to grow, the loneliness that helped you appreciate real connection, the disappointment that made you wiser. None of those experiences were easy, and none of them were fair, but they shaped the person you're becoming. Kintsugi reminds us that healing doesn't erase the past, it transforms our relationship with it. The cracks remain visible, not as symbols of weakness, but as reminders of resilience. There's an important difference between pain and identity. Pain is something you experience, it is not who you are. You are not your worst day. You are not your biggest mistake. You are not the rejection that broke your heart. You are not the dream that didn't come true. Those things happened to you. They are chapters in your story. They are not the title of your life. Perhaps that's why the golden lines in a kintsugi bowl are never hidden. They quietly say, "This was broken, this was repaired, this survived." What if you looked at your own life the same way? What if instead of asking, "Why am I so broken?" you asked, "What have I survived that I never thought I could?" The answer might surprise you, because you've already made it through days you once believed were impossible. You've carried burdens that no one else even knew about. You've kept moving forward even when every step felt heavy. That isn't weakness, that's resilience. And maybe your greatest strength has never been the moments when life was easy. Maybe it has always been your ability
to rise after every fall. Because once you stop seeing your scars as something to hide, they become something entirely different. They become quiet reminders that healing is possible, and that realization changes everything. Because healing isn't a single moment. It's something we choose one small day at a time.
Part 4. Healing is a daily practice. Most of us think healing is something that happens to us. We imagine that one day we'll wake up and everything will finally feel normal again. The sadness will disappear. The anxiety will be gone. The memories won't hurt anymore, and life will simply move on. But healing rarely arrives that way. It isn't a destination, it's a practice. It's a choice we make every single day, often in ways so small that we barely notice them. Imagine planting a tiny seed in the ground. The next morning, nothing seems different. A week later, the soil still looks almost the same. If you judged only by what you could see, you might believe nothing was happening. But beneath the surface, roots are quietly growing. They're spreading deeper into the earth, preparing the plant for the day it finally reaches the light. Our own healing works in much the same way. From the outside, it may seem like nothing has changed. You may still have difficult days. You may still carry painful memories. You may still wonder if you're making any progress at all. Yet deep inside, something is changing. Every time you choose to be patient with yourself, another root grows. Every time you choose rest instead of burnout, another root grows. Every time you forgive yourself instead of repeating old mistakes, another root grows. Real healing is often invisible before it becomes visible. Modern life makes this difficult to remember. Everything around us encourages speed, faster results, faster success, faster happiness. We've become so used to instant answers that we expect our hearts to heal just as quickly. When they don't, we assume something must be wrong with us. We ask ourselves, why am I still struggling? Why can't I just move on? Why am I not stronger than this? But perhaps those are the wrong questions. A broken bone isn't expected to heal overnight. It needs rest, time, care. If you ignore it and keep putting pressure on it, the injury only becomes worse. Our emotional wounds deserve the same patience. They're not signs of weakness, they're signs that something important happened. And important things always take time to heal. This is one of the quiet messages hidden inside Kintsugi Wellness. The way we care for ourselves each day slowly shapes the person we become, not through dramatic transformations, but through ordinary moments repeated with intention. A few minutes of silence before the day begins, a walk without checking your phone, drinking a cup of tea slowly instead of rushing through it, getting enough sleep even when your to-do list isn't finished, taking a deep breath before reacting in anger, forgiving yourself for not having everything figured out. These moments don't seem extraordinary, but they slowly change us. Think about nature for a moment. The sun never rushes to rise. The seasons don't compete with one another. A flower never blooms because another flower bloomed first. Everything follows its own rhythm. Only human beings seem determined to believe they are always behind. Perhaps that's why so many of us feel exhausted. We're constantly measuring our progress against someone else's timeline. We forget that healing is deeply personal.
Your journey will never look exactly like anyone else's, and that's perfectly okay. There's another lesson hidden in the way a kintsugi artist repairs a broken bowl. The craftsman never forces the pieces together. Each fragment is handled with patience. The lacquer is allowed to dry. The gold is applied carefully. If the process is rushed, the bowl becomes weaker instead of stronger. Our lives work the same way. When we rush our healing, we often ignore what our hearts are trying to teach us. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is slow down, not because you've given up, but because you've finally realized that peace cannot be forced. It has to be nurtured. Perhaps healing isn't about becoming the person you were before life became difficult. Perhaps it's about becoming someone who understands themselves more deeply than ever before. Someone who knows when to rest, when to let go, when to begin again. Because every small act of kindness you offer yourself becomes another line of gold, another quiet reminder that you are rebuilding, not into the person you used to be, but into someone even stronger. And once you begin treating yourself with that kind of patience, something remarkable happens. You stop asking when healing will finally arrive, because you realize it has been unfolding within you all along.
Part 5. The 3 lessons that change everything. After everything we've explored together, one question still remains. How do we carry this philosophy into our own lives? It's easy to admire an idea. It's much harder to live it. That's why the beauty of kintsugi isn't found only in a repaired bowl. It's found in the choices we make every single day. And if there are 3 lessons worth remembering from this ancient philosophy, they are these. The first lesson is simple. Broken doesn't mean worthless. This may sound obvious, yet many of us spend years believing the exact opposite. One mistake, one failed relationship, one lost opportunity, one chapter that didn't go the way we hoped. Somehow, we allow one painful moment to decide how we see ourselves. We stop saying, "I made a mistake," and begin saying, "I am a mistake." Those 2 sentences may sound similar, but they create completely different lives. The first describes something that happened. The second becomes an identity. And when we believe that identity, we begin living as though it's true. We stop taking chances. We stop trusting ourselves. We stop believing that something beautiful is still possible. Kintsugi gently reminds us that your value has never depended on remaining unbroken. A diamond doesn't lose its worth because it has imperfections. An old tree doesn't become less beautiful because time has changed its shape. And a human being doesn't lose their value simply because life became difficult. Sometimes the experiences we wish had never happened become the very experiences that shape our greatest strength. The second lesson is that healing takes patience. We live in a world that celebrates speed. We want quick results, quick success, quick happiness. And naturally, we expect quick healing too. When it doesn't happen, we become frustrated with ourselves. We wonder why we're still hurting, why we're still thinking about the past, why we're not completely okay yet. But healing has never followed a schedule. Think about the sunrise. Darkness doesn't disappear all at once. Little by little, the sky begins to change. The light arrives so gradually that you hardly notice it, until suddenly the world is bright again. Our healing often happens the same way. It doesn't arrive in one dramatic moment. It grows quietly through ordinary days, through choosing hope
instead of giving up, through resting when we need to, through forgiving ourselves for being human, one gentle choice after another. And then one day we look back and realize we've become someone stronger than we ever imagined. The third lesson may be the most important of all. Your scars are proof that you survived. Every scar tells a story, not only about pain, but about recovery, not only about loss, but about resilience. Think about the people who have inspired you throughout your life. They probably weren't people who lived without struggle. They were people who faced disappointment, uncertainty, and heartbreak, yet still chose kindness. They still chose hope. They still chose love. Their strength wasn't created because life was easy. It was created because life was difficult. Perhaps that's why Kintsugi fills its cracks with gold.
Part 6. The gold was inside you all along. Before we finish, I'd like you to imagine something. Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. Not a perfect version of yourself, not someone who never made mistakes, just an older version, a wiser version, someone who has lived through everything that's still waiting for you. What do you think that future version would say? Would they tell you to work harder, to become more successful, to stop making mistakes? Perhaps, but I don't think those would be the first words. Maybe they would simply smile, look at everything you've been carrying, and say, you've been harder on yourself than life ever needed you to be. Isn't it strange how often we believe our lives should have unfolded differently? We imagine that if only we had made better decisions, chosen another path, said the right words, or avoided one painful mistake, everything would be perfect. But life has never been a straight line. It's a collection of unexpected turns, closed doors, new beginnings, and lessons we never planned to learn. If every difficult chapter had been removed from your life, would you still be the person you are today? Would you understand compassion the same way? Would you appreciate quiet moments as deeply? Would you recognize genuine kindness when you see it? Probably not. Some of the qualities we value most in ourselves are born from the experiences we once wished had never happened. That is the quiet wisdom hidden inside Kintsugi Wellness. It never asks us to celebrate suffering. It simply reminds us that suffering doesn't have to be meaningless. Every crack in a Kintsugi bowl tells two stories. The first is about the moment it broke. The second is about the care that brought it back together. Most of us spend years staring at the first story, the disappointment, the rejection, the loss, the heartbreak. But perhaps the second story is the one that truly matters. The day you chose to begin again. The day you forgave yourself. The day you believed there was still something worth hoping for. Those moments rarely seem extraordinary. No one applauds them. No one hands out awards for quietly choosing hope on an ordinary morning. Yet those small decisions slowly become the foundation of an extraordinary life. Perhaps that is what real courage looks like. Not never falling, but refusing to stay on the ground. Look back at your own journey for a moment. There were days you thought you wouldn't get through. Days when your heart felt heavier than you could explain. Days when you questioned your future. And yet, here you are, still learning, still growing, still searching for meaning. That alone is something worth honoring. Maybe you spent years looking at your scars as proof that something is wrong with you.
What if they're actually proof that life couldn't defeat you? Because every scar quietly says the same thing. I was hurt, I healed, and I kept going. If there is one lesson I hope stays with you after this book, it's this: you do not have to erase your past to deserve a beautiful future. You do not have to become perfect before you deserve peace. You do not have to fix every flaw before you are worthy of love, kindness, or happiness. Your worth has never depended on perfection. It has always been part of who you are. Before we say goodbye, I'd like to leave you with one final question. When you look at yourself tomorrow, what will you choose to notice first? The cracks or the gold? Because both are there. The cracks remind you that life happened. The gold reminds you that you survived it. And perhaps that's the greatest masterpiece any of us can ever create. Not a life without pain, but a life where pain is transformed into wisdom, where loss becomes gratitude, where failure becomes growth, where every challenge leaves behind a little more compassion than before. That is the true meaning of Kintsugi Wellness. It isn't about repairing pottery. It isn't even about repairing ourselves. It's about repairing the way we see ourselves. Because the moment you stop believing that broken means worthless, everything begins to change. The gold was never something life gave you. Life simply revealed it. It was already there. Inside your courage, inside your kindness, inside your resilience. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. If these ideas gave you even one new way of looking at yourself, don't let them end with this video. Carry them into your everyday life. Let them shape the way you speak to yourself, the way you treat others, and the way you begin again after every setback. And if you enjoy discovering timeless books that help us live with greater wisdom, peace, and purpose, you're always welcome here at BookBite. Until next time, be patient with yourself, honor every step of your journey, and remember this: the most beautiful masterpieces are never the ones that remained untouched by life. They are the ones that found the courage to shine through every single crack.